Hello, this is Arnold. In this chapter 13, we'll be talking about the Percival's criterion. Like Sherd, Percival developed a guideline for the prescription of prism. He believed in the positive and negative relative convergence, and he also believed in the term middle third. Percival does not believe on demand and reserve, which is portrayed in the Sherd's criterion. And Percival's criterion is most effective for esophoria, which is opposite siya sa Sherd's criterion. Because ang sa Sherd's criterion kay sa exo, exosia, exophoria. While ang sa Percival's criterion is esophoria. So, asmanin ako ba esophoria. And as you can observe, ang sa Percival's criterion, ang ira magamit na data is ang sa number 9, 10, 11. Unlike sa Sherd's criterion na mogamit og katong Foria, which is number 8 sa far, and sa near nga number 13b, so wala na siya. Ang kining sa Percival's is same siya sa Sherd's pero wala na to ang mga Foria. So we will check the 21 steps. So for far, the positive and negative relative convergence are 9 and 11 break. Number 9 for the positive and number 11 for the negative relative convergence. And if number 9 is x, use the break of number 10. So, for example, natay number 9, natay number 11. That's it. Mura na ang imo kwaon na data. Yeah, if ever wala ang number 9, X siya, so kuan siya. Mugamit ka sa break sa number 10. As for our near, the same sa far nato. So, kuan siya. Mugamit siya sa 16A and 17A. And if X sila, kay mugamit sila sa break sa sunod nila na number. Not number, but letter. Then we have here, same as the Sherd's criterion na ang Percival's criterion is PDCMA fulfilled and not fulfilled, which will be discussed later on kung unsaon na to pag-determine sa fulfilled and not fulfilled. Pero ang idea ani is the same ra sa Sherd's criterion, wherein if fulfilled siya, lateral imbalance is not the cause of the ocular discomforts. The same ra gid sila reasoning. Pero ang kalahian na raaning Percival's criterion is ang iya way sa iya middle third na formula. And if it is not fulfilled, the same ra gihapon sa Sherd's criterion na naatay tulo nga paagi. Ang kini is actually copy-paste ra gyud ni siya sa Sherd's criterion nga management if not fulfilled. Okay? Wherein we will have to prescribe the prism or it may be na mo-alter ta og spherical value or visual training or orthoptics. And then first, ato sa unahon ang first management, which is the prescription of the prism. So how do we prescribe prism? Again, we have the three methods. The same gid siya sa Sherds. So mag-start ta sa trial and error method, formula, then inspection of graph will be discussed in the future classes nato. And then I want to discuss about this formula. So formula ta mag focus since this is what separates the Percival's criterion from the Sherd's criterion. So let me use something, okay? So we have the formula for Percival's criterion. P is equal to G minus 2L over 3, wherein our P is the prism value to be prescribed, G is the greater value, and L is the lesser value. So mahibong ka, asa man yung greater value sa lesser value. I will discuss this later on, ha? What lang. Then, if P is positive, then Percival's criterion is not fulfilled. And if P is negative, Percival's criterion is fulfilled. The same rugid siya idea sa Sherds na to. If na-master na ninimo ang kining mga rulings nga ni sa P, then I don't see na maglibog sa kani. So let's have an example right away. So, muna siyang example nato. So, the same as sa Sherd's criterion mo, solve ta para sa near and sa far. So, for our far, ang ato kitaon kay ang 9 ug 11. Ang niya ang sa sa to near is Let's have the 16A and the 17A. So things to look for. Add PRC and NRC findings for far and near. So for our far again is 9 and 11. Maguna ta sa far. So far, our number 9 is, ang iya value is 10, and your 11 is 11. So you will have to add, so imo ni i-add, 10 plus 11 is equals to 21. Divide the sum by 3. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. So kining 7 nato na value is our middle third. Mo maning nagpa sikat sa ato Percival's criterion, ang middle third. And then we compare the PRC and NRC if the quotient is more than kini mo na ni is more than the quotient or not. Okay? So, ayaw lang ni i-mind ang kining if. Wala ni if. So, compare the PRC and NRC to the quotient na diretsyo. Wala ni if. Okay? So, mag-compare na ta sa PRC and NRC. So, unsa may PRC nga ri ang 10. So, 10 is greater than 7, correct? Number 11, which is 11, is greater than 7. So, unsa may pasabutan ni? Percival's criterion is fulfilled. Therefore, the ocular discomfort of the patient is not lateral imbalance. Inana ra nimo ikuan. Ang kining 7, imo ra ni siya i-compare aning duha. Nya if mas dako sila ang kining 9 o number 9 nato og number 11 kay mas dako aning sa middle third na imo nakuha, then meaning to say it is fulfilled. To prove it further, same sa shards na ikaduha sad siya i-check bisan og fulfilled na siya. So mao ni siya, mo follow ra gihapon siya sa formula which is P is equals to G minus 2L over 3. So ang ato G mo ni siya ang greater value niya, ang L is ang lesser value. So asa man kang base ani? Anhi sa imo far nga ring. Okay? So, asa man ang mas dakong rig value, ang greater value, ang 10 or 11, ang 11, di ba? So, simply substitute lang. So, G is equals to 11 and our L or our lesser value is 10. So, 10. 11 minus 20 over 3. So, that will yield to negative 9 over 3. So, nahimo na siya og negative. So, ang ato P is equals to negative 3 prism base in. So since P comes out negative, negative man siya, Percival's criterion is fulfilled. Therefore, the ocular discomfort of the patient is not lateral imbalance. So same ra siya sa third no na basta ang P nato negative kay ma-fulfill sad siya. But ang nakalahian ning sa Percival's karon kay ang pagdetermine whether it is base in or base out. Gyud sa din nako pagkita ang base in or base out. Naka-question sad ka? Okay. Na wala man untay kini mag-base ba ta aning sa kuan gihapon sa number 8 sa 13B na to if exo ba siya or eso mo ba na nga to i-base? Mag-base ta ani kung asa na reserve ang weak sa ato pasyente. So we know na ang number 9 o number 10 nato kay mo na ang ato base out reserve, ang ato number 11 is our base in reserve, 16A or 16B is our base out reserve, and 17A or 17B is our base in reserve. This is for near and this is for far. Okay? And whichever is the weaker, prescribe the opposite base or simply ang greater na value kay mo na ay mo i-prescribe na base. So, unsa man ang kinilang ato i-follow ang kining second kay mas sayon siya. Mas simple siya. So, unsa man nato kailangan play. Okay, ang greater value which is our 11 kining number 11 nato. Since our number 11 is a base in reserve, so ang ato gibutang nga rin sa P is equal to negative 3 prism base in. So inana ra ang pagkita sa ato, inana ra ang pagdetermine whether it is base in or base out ang ato i-give nga management for prism. Okay, we're done with the far. We have determined that it is fulfilled. Therefore, dili na ta magkatong mag-trial and error, uh, uh, katong spherical alteration. So, we'll now proceed with the near. So, unsa may kitawan nato sa near again? So, ang 16A ug ang 17A. So, magbutang lang tangari, then we will add it. Munang first step na to, i-add na to. 24 plus 9 is equals to 33. 33, ang second step na to is i-divide siya by 3. So 33 divided by 3 is equals to 11. Therefore, our middle third is 11. And then next is ato ni i-compare ang 11 sa kining 16a og sa 17a. So since 16a is greater than 11, but 17a is lesser than 11 because 9 ra ang ato 17a, mas dako ang ato middle third. So therefore, the it has ocular discomfort of the patient, and it is because of lateral imbalance, meaning to say Percival's criterion is not fulfilled. So muna siya ang way sa pag-determine if ang Percival's criterion is not fulfilled. So if not fulfilled siya mo, proceed na ta atong management, starting with our trial and error method. So ang kining sa trial and error method is perminti ni siya mogawas og kining middle third nato, which is ang 11 ang ato middle third. So ang ato buhaton ani is think of a prism that will be deducted to the greater value and be added to the lesser value. Okay, you may ask, nganong sa greater value man ta mag-deduct, nganong dili man sa lesser value? Kung imo pa na i-lesser ang, imo pa ni ibanan ang 9, mas magtika kuan hinuon siya, mas magtika layo hinuon siya sa 11 nato. Ang ato goal is ma-equal siya or ma-greater than siya sa kining middle third nato para walay ocular discomfort ang ato pasyente. Okay? So, mora ni siya ang trial and error. So, for example, magbutang taog trial nga 1 base out. So, ang 24 maibanan og 1, ang 9 prism nato is maibanan og 10. So, 23 plus 10 is equals to 33. 33 divided by 3 is equals to 11. That is always true gina siya perminti. Pero ang ato goal ani is ang kining lesser value nato is ma-equal siya or ma-greater than siya sa kining ato middle third. And now we've determined na sa 2 base out kini equal na ang lesser nato na 11 sa ato middle third. Therefore, with the 2 base out, dira magka-stabilize ang vision sa to patient. Therefore, our final Rx for the trial and error method would be negative 2 sphere combined with minus 50 seal axis 90 combined with 2 prism base out. Nganong base out? It is because ang ato greater value, which is our 16A, kining 24 nato na prism, is a base out reserve. Again, kung ang ato note nga rin, sa ato note nga rin, 16A or 16B is our base out reserve. So, greater is equals to prescribe muna ang ato base na i-prescribe. So, therefore, 2 prism base out siya. So, by formula na sad ta. So, simply substitute lang. So, ang P na to kay 6 over 3, which is equivalent to 2 prism base out. The same ra siya sa trial and error nato. Since P comes out positive, Percival's criterion is not fulfilled. Therefore, the ocular discomfort of the patient is lateral imbalance. So, muna. Okay? And then next is mag-alter na sad taog spherical value. Again, unsa to ang ato paagi ni trial and error method munang 1 by formula, munang second, and third is altering the spherical value or spherical alteration. So, ang rule is actually the same sa katong gidiscuss nato sa Sherrd's criterion, no? So, plus plus minus 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 plus booby. So, mora na ang imo i-follow. Actually, the same ra gyud ni ang formula aning ang pag spherical value alteration nato sa kuan katong shared screen. Okay? So, now let's substitute na aning sa value sa P og sa A. Ang P nato is 2 prism base out. So, 2. Unya ang ato A sa A ratio, since kuan man ang plus 1 ang ato kuan nga 11 minus 6 so 5 is to 1 iya is a ratio so 2 over 5 is equals to 0.40 since the power is minus or negative and p is base out this will be decreased to the power ato daw i-check if sakto so plus plus minus 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 plus boogie ako ang change ko color. So since the power is minus, so minus siya, nya ato P is base out. So this will decrease. Iya i-decrease ang power. So our number 7 is negative 2. Nya ato siya i-deduct aning sa negative 0.40. So 2 minus 0.40 is equals to negative 1.60 sphere. So therefore, ang ato na alter na spherical value is negative 1.60 sphere combined with negative 0.50 cell axis 90. Okay. So let's have another example. This is actually okay. Example 2 na ta. So for our example 2, we have number 9 as x. So x iya value no. What you are going to do is ang imo gamiton ani is ang number 10 nga break which is 20. So imo na lang i-share butang. So number 10 na to is 20 and our 11 is 8. Mo na siya ang sa PRC and this is for the NRC. So add lang 20 plus 8 is equals to 28 over 3 is 9.33. Therefore, our middle third would be the 9.33. Then our 9.33 will be compared to this 2. So as you can see, number 10, kining 20, is greater than 9.33 and but our number 11 is lesser than. So, unsa may pasabutan na Percival's criterion is not fulfilled. Therefore, ocular discomfort of the patient is due to the lateral imbalance. So, unsa may buhaton na First is to trial and error method. So, asa man ang greater ato ang 20, di ba? So, greater 20 unya lesser 8 prism. And then, the same ra gyud na sila tanan ang kining na nga rin na column. So what you are going to do is to find the value that would make it the same or more than sa middle third. And as you can see, sa 1.4 base out, kay mas greater siya gamay sa ato middle third. Kay kung mulapas ta, nga rin sa 1.3 base out, mas dako na noon ang middle third. Therefore, ang ato gamiton na prism is ang kining 1.4 base out. Nganong base out? Because negative man siya. So therefore, our prescription for this trial and error method is negative 2.50 sphere combined with negative 0.75 seal axis 45 combined with 1.4 prism base out. Then, unsay sunod sa trial and error method, that would be the by formula. So sa formula, gamit ta aning P is equals to G minus 2L over 3. Ang say G na to, ang 20, greater value man na. Nya, ang ato L is 8. Ay column T ang 2 ha, dapat i-times na siya. 20 minus 16 over 3. So 4 over 3, ang sa may na-resulta na 1.33, which is positive. And if P is positive, then Percival's criterion is not fulfilled. Therefore, the ocular discomfort of the patient is due to lateral imbalance. Therefore, ang ato prescription kay ato ni siya integrate all prism which is this P. So dool ra siya sa results sa trial and error method but ang kining sa by formula is more on kuan siya na mga decimal scale na printing. Okay? So therefore, our prescription for the by formula is negative 2.50 sphere combined with negative 0.75 seal axis 45 combined with 1.33 base out. Then lastly is the spherical alteration. So ato gikita ang 13b and 13b plus 1 para makita ta og ACA ratio since ACA ratio is needed for the spherical alteration. Okay? And then we have the value for P 1.33 base out. So ang ato gigamit na P is ang sa formula since mas exact siya. So S is equals to P over A. Then our value for S is 0.222. Since the power is minus money, and then P is base out, this will be decreased to the power. Okay, ato. Naraman nga rin. Kina nga to gamito na eh. Naraman. So, minus power, then base out. So, decreased to the power. Okay. So, ang kining 2.50, ang number 7 na to, i-decrease na to og 0.222 sphere. So, mo na siya ang magawas. So, bali, mo na ni siya ang altered na to na spherical value. Therefore, our prescription for the spherical alteration is negative 2.278 sphere combined with negative 0.75 still axis 45. Okay, we're not done yet. That's for the koan pa, for the far. Now, let's proceed with the near prescription na to. So, mag-una ka og kita sa kining 16A og 17A since wala ray nag-X nila unlike sa kining number 9 na nagpa-XX nga ra. First step is add 17 plus 15 is equals to 32. 32 divided by 3 is equals to 10.66. Therefore, our middle 30 is 10.66. Then 10.66 is to be compared to the 16A and 17A, whether it is more than or lesser than. Since both 16A and 17A are greater than 10.66, 16A being 17 and 17A being 15, mas dagko man sila duha sa 10.66, meaning to say, Percival's criterion is fulfilled. Therefore, the ocular discomfort of the patient is not due to lateral imbalance. So, muna ang siya sa Percival's criterion. Fulfilled siya. So, no need to go further for the trial and error and the spherical alteration. And then we can further prove it through the formula, which is P is equals to G minus 2L. Ay kalimta jud ang 2 over 3. Okay? So simply substitute lang unsa may dako ani na value between these two. So we have the 17 and our lesser is our 17A which is equivalent to 15. So 17 minus 30 over 3 is equal to negative 4.33 prism base out. Ganong base out. So ay good ni kalimtiha ang pagdetermine sa base out or base in. It is because ang ato greater value is 16A, 17 man siya, which is a base out reserve. Since muna ang ato base out, so base out sa dang ato prism nga rin. So since P comes out negative, Percival's criterion is fulfilled. Therefore, the ocular discomfort of the patient is not due to lateral imbalance. It may be from other causes. I guess that ends for my discussion about the Percival's criterion. I really hope that you have learned anything about this discussion, and please do consider giving me a thumbs up for this video, and see you next time for my video in the visual analysis. Thank you very much and have a nice day.